Hey guys, today we're going to be painting this really fun sunflower. So I want to talk to you about the supplies that you're going to need. So some of the things that you're going to need are going to be some paint. You can see there some paint. I'll get into more about which paints and colors that I used. Some other things are going to be pencil, because you have to draw it out, and it's got a nice little eraser on it, or you can get a separate eraser. A little pen that is bleed proof. You want to make sure that it says that it won't bleed. That's very, very important. And a synthetic brush so that you can apply masking fluid with it. And this is a rubber cement pickup. We use it for removing masking fluid. There's only going to be a couple places that you're going to mask out, and that is really what's also known as a resist once you put the masking fluid on. This brush cleaner, or you can use some kind of soap, and the reason I use this is to coat my brush with, and I need water with it, obviously. Coat my brush and then dip it in the masking fluid and then apply it, and then water again and coat my brush again or clean my brush. You're going to use masking tape to tape down onto your board, so you need that, and that's before you begin, of course. And a couple brushes, and really you can get by with probably 3 different sizes of brushes. So you need one that has a really fine point, so you can get those nice thin areas, because this particular painting isn't super huge. It is a 1/4 sheet of watercolor paper, which I believe is like 11 by 15. And back to the other brush, you need a medium size brush that holds more water, and it'd be good for getting these areas around the outside, some of this perhaps. And then a flat brush. This one might be a little big. You can get one that's probably a little smaller. Maybe this size would work better for you. But there are different sizes of flats. Flat brushes that you can get. And like I said, on this project you could probably get by with just 3 different brushes. That's probably all you need. Now let's talk about the paint a little bit. Here's the fun thing. Okay, so for this project I used some watercolor ink. Why did I do that? Because I found that this particular watercolor ink, which happened to be a cadmium yellow color. And this one is non-toxic, by the way. I believe that's what it said on the back. Yep, it does say non-toxic. Very nice. So I am using this to get a really, really super bright yellow. And that is going to be the yellow that we are using. I don't normally use watercolor ink in every painting, but for this it works great. So this is very fun, upbeat painting. Needed some bright colors. That is a great color for this project. Alright, so other colors that we need. Got some dark purple. Well, what do we need that for? We want a really dark brown in the center here. We're going to use that with some burnt sienna. Now there's many different brands of colors, and as you can see here, I got a little of everything. I got some Paul Jackson deep purple. I have some Winsor Newton burnt sienna. This is the brown, and I have some Winsor Newton quinacridone gold, which I'm almost out of this one. But there's many different brands. It's not just them that makes it. I have some My Mary Blue is the name of the company, and this particular color is cyan for the blue, in the darker areas. So honestly, I think I mixed these three colors to get my darkest dark. And sometimes you'll need to do that and maybe make more than one pass. Now for the blue, I wanted a real nice bright blue. So I have a turquoise blue here. This one just happens to be Holbein. So as you can see, I'm not partial to any one. It's just whichever color that I found kind of works the best for what I'm doing. And then for the pink, what a nice vibrant pink. Well, you say, oh, there's not that much pink on there. I see some lilac and I see some other colors. But really, we use the blue and the vibrant pink to make this nice, very light violet or magenta color and some variations of it. Also, since I painted this first with the yellow, I came back and I used this bright Opus Pink by Da Vinci to come up with these colors. Now all of a sudden they turn orange. What are you talking about? That's orange. Well, that's what happens when you mix yellow and pink. It turns orange. So we got those great colors going there. And then for a little bit of spice, I used some phthalo yellow green. And this one's a Dick Blick color, happens to be a Dick Blick color. It's a very interesting color because it seems to take to the water a little bit differently, and sometimes stays put more where you put it. So got some real interesting bright colors here, 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 and I think sometimes that's what it takes to give a painting some pop. So I've enjoyed very much using these colors and trying out this watercolor ink. I think you're gonna too. This is a very fun project. And don't forget your masking fluid. It also comes masking fluid. If you got very small areas to mask, you can actually get it in like a pen size that you can use. This one happens to be made by Holbein. Sometimes it's easier to use. It's got a ballpoint pen type. It's made in another country, made in Japan. But Holbein, you can find it in their line, in the Holbein line, which is the same line as one of these paints, this one here, for example. So you would buy this online at one of the art places online. So this happens to be bright white paper, but it doesn't have to be. It can be your regular white paper as well. Works just as, actually this is the regular white. I apologize for that. But both would work equally well to get some nice bright tones on there. So come join me, have some fun, and don't forget your paper towel. If you totally run out of ink as you're doing this, just come up and I'll fill your little container with some more. I just don't like to put a lot in there at once, just in case. Okay, so you can put water first and then the ink. Luckily it's the right color. Now, my original painting that I did, I actually used just paint on that one. But then I found this stuff and I thought, you know what, I just really want to try it, and I liked it so well, I thought you guys might like to try it too. Yeah, you're welcome. And I find out I like that it spreads so super easy.
You're welcome. We're happy to be of help. I will. Right now, I've just got my mind on some of the things. We got our big build service painting tomorrow, so we're wrapping up our 36 months church campaign. Church for all.
Yeah, I just announced that.
Don't know. They're not going to have to sell it. They're looking. Someone is going to rent it. So pray that the Lord wants us to stay here. Perfect. Sounds good.
You ready to hit record on that?
Yes.
Good job for remembering, Mom. So what's new? You said you're using the watercolor ink.
Watercolor ink?
What's the difference?
Well, this, I mean, it's already concentrated and it's
Okay.
already in a bottle. I mean, it's very smooth flowing.
Okay. So it's easier to work
It's
with? then?
bright. It's very bright, as you can see. Yeah, it's just different. But it still flows nice, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Cool.
Wrapping things up. So, thank you.
Oh, it's named mine. Oh.
It looks like it's already. Yep. It's gonna be really bright when you get all that paint on there.
And that's fine. Taking it off.
I do need this. It's my little crush. I don't want to do it wrong. Maybe not for these petals, but later.
For the rest of it.
I have it over there too.
That's where I took the picture from.
Oh. That's That's all right. I have other one to look at over here, so I can remember what I'm doing. I better get back at it, or you'll get ahead of me. I'll get back at the music here.
He got 2 liters again after just 2 or 3 days.
You like it, Bridget? What grade are you in, Bridget? It took a couple of years off of everything.
Now, the one thing I will tell you about this watercolor ink, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to dry than regular watercolor paint. And that's fine for what we're doing. What we'll do is we'll move to a different area on this painting. Now, if anybody else has elevator music and they want to bring it, you're always welcome to. There's an interesting story behind this. I was in San Diego, I believe that's where I was at the time, and there were these 2 young kids on the beach, a brother and a sister, and I wanted to take pictures of them. Just didn't know if I'd use them for my art or not. And they were facing towards the ocean. And so the dad saw me taking pictures of them, of course. And so I told him I was an artist and what I was doing and stuff like that. And I found out when you do stuff like that, they're either really happy or they're really mad at you. So in this case, he was really happy, thankfully.
Good.
And he asked me if I would send him the pictures. He goes, "Oh yeah, those are, what a neat thing," and that kind of thing. And he happened to work for a radio station. And so I sent him the pictures. He was very grateful. So he sent me these CDs of just mixed smooth jazz that they play at their radio station. So that's where these came from. Right.
They might be worried about your taste in art when you're taking pictures.
All right. I did have my business card on me, so that did help.
Good.
Yeah, you're fine for this. I'm sorry that you're
Going back over the
So, you grab your small brush, and in this area to the left, I'm gonna skip these little knobs.
Okay.
I'm gonna just leave those. But I'm putting just water right there. And then towards the side, just gonna take and brush some lavender up there, a little bit there, come down a little bit on the side there. And I'm letting the paint and the water go ahead and do the work.
Who'd have thunk?
Okay, so now this middle section, we're just gonna put some water there. And I'm gonna grab some of my lavender again. And this one's lighter though. It was supposed to be lighter though. So now I went and just got just water, so there we go. I wanted it to flow out a little bit more, so that's why I did that. Now, we might as well go over to the right side. And again, we're gonna do just water. And just those big sections. It's the only thing we're gonna do. We're gonna do left, right, or left, middle, right. Sorry. Okay, so on the right side, it's gonna be that turquoise color that we have.
Is that the same that you mixed with the pink?
This one, no, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Is that just
But
Lighter blue.
here's the thing, I'm thinking about adding just a little tiny touch of that in there, so here we go. Little tiny touch of that blue in there. And again, staying on the right side of it.
the light blue, the dark blue, the pink?
Thanks.
Okay, then I'm gonna grab just a little bit of lavender again, and see how we did lavender in the center?
Just that right one.
We're just gonna do a hint of it, brush that right along here.
But then she put a dark on too. Okay.
Okay? Alright. Okay, so just water first. And you can do them a section at a time.
Nope. I don't know. And then I was like, it was too dry. I'm like, oh, if I do it, it's gonna mess it up. Yep. That's touchy. Luckily,
She called you up here, saved yourself.
Yes, I know. We, as watercolorists, we love to
Like,
keep going.
yeah, I need a Susan at home to yell at me when I'm doing it at my work too.
Okay. I'm just waiting on Andrea and Laura. And then we gotta cut that cake pretty soon, I'm thinking. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we need our
You
sugar
ready
rush.
for, yeah, ready for that sugar rush pretty soon?
Oh, he's ready for tea.
Alright. Okay, so there's this little area right here. It's like a triangle. And I know that it might not be drawn as a triangle on yours. But anyways, just hit that little area with some of that purple, lavender. And we're gonna go like this. The very bottom rung. I'm gonna put some lavender in here. Okay, so I just put some in the middle, some on the side. I think I got it.
But you didn't put water first, you're just putting color on.
I did actually. It's I did put water on first. And it's very dark right there, a little too dark. Darker than what I really want it, so dab it up a little bit. And I want a little bit of blue in there too, so I'm just gonna throw
The lighter or the darker?
the brighter blue. So I'm gonna throw a little bit of that brighter blue towards the top of there. 'Cause Because if we do just plain one color, it gets kind of boring when you look at it. So let me see here. And just a hint of it right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, 5. Very cool.
Okay.
You brought
Four.
extra glasses for people? You are
So the lilac that you have in your palette, I put water right here, but add a little bit more pink to it. So we're gonna make this more of a magenta color.
Okay.
And there's a rung in the middle, leave that alone.
Okay.
And then over on the right, let's see if there's anything else I want to do. Okay, down here, let's hit this right away. Normally you'd put water on it, so if your paint is not that wet, put water on here first. In this case, I had so much water on my brush, I just went ahead and I floated the color in. Usually put water on first though. And now on the top of that, I'm just gonna grab a hint of blue. I'm gonna drop that in the top of it. Okay?
Okay.
Those 4 little areas.
4. I know sheet 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There. Okay, I always forgot about the top.
So 1, 2, 3, and then this one.
Okay.
Because they're all the same color. So again, make your lilac color that you have a little bit more to the pink side. All right, so let's do a couple things. I'm going to show you one, how we start creating that dark color in here. And we're not going to, you know, I guess once you get past the other area, then I'm going to show you next. You can do that. But I am using purple. Okay. And when I do this, I'm going to create little areas in there that are white. So it's just going to be totally random. They're going to be kind of round or whatever shape. It doesn't really matter. This is what I like to call my disappearing purple. And Esther probably remembers some of that, although it's been a while.
Is it wet first or is it dry?
No, I'm actually doing this, but on very dry paper. Thank you for the question. But here's the thing, my paint is very wet. It's soupy, it's watery. That's why it's flowing pretty good. But so it's a different kind of thing that I'm doing here than what we did for the water areas and some of the other areas. The reason being is that we want the base to be darker. So then I'll just continue to work my way around. This will have more than one layer on it by the time we're done. It's gonna have a dark brown layer on it as well. So, and the center will be the same way. I don't want you to concentrate too much on that. That's how you do that part. That's how you start it. So let's come over here and,
That's for both flowers right away.
yeah, that's for both flowers.
And just
And
that
just around the
larger
edges.
part.
Just
the
in
larger
the middle?
ring.
The middle,
edges.
Oh, the middle
leave
and
the
larger.
ring,
Okay, thank you.
Leave the ring, don't touch that.
I see.
Just do the purple around here. I'm not gonna say start that yet, but I'm just showing you how to do it.
Oh, so
Okay.
we're not doing the middle, just the outside rings.
You don't do any
No.
of it quite yet. Do this part first, okay. So we're gonna do this stem
With water.
with just water.
Yep. Oh yeah, I can see great. Thank you.
Okay, so just that middle part of the stem. And you can use some of your watercolor ink. Throw a little bit right there. And I probably have more than just a little. Sorry about that. Grab some of your bright green. Wow! Look at what that's doing. That's crazy. Okay, now you do have some quinacridone gold though.
That's the brownish looking stuff.
Yes, it is the brownish looking stuff.
Can you say that one more time?
Quinacridone.
Can you say that 5 times fast?
Ooh, that looks cool.
Okay. So I had it very wet, so that's why it's just kind of going into there. You also have some green in your palette. You have some dark green. This isn't it. It's in there, trust me. I remember because I put it there. Okay, and so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a little bit of the darker green in there. I'm gonna be a little bit careful with that and come back with some water and let it blend. Because otherwise it gets to be a bit much. Okay, so I'm gonna come over to this one now. On the left. Remember, I know it looks very, very vibrant right now, but it is gonna dry down and it will be lighter than what it is. It will probably be more dull than what it is. Again, just a hint of yellow. I know it
Comes off as bright.
it
It's
comes
really
out
not.
really bright. Throw my green in there with it. Let those two colors play together a little bit. And then again, come back. My quinacridone is not watery, okay? It's really pretty solid as I'm adding it in here. And that's where it'll make more of a difference. It won't just go everywhere if you're, okay, so if your brush is not that wet, it's somewhat dry, and your paint is kind of dry, and you put it into a wet area, it'll stay there a little. It's still gonna disperse a little bit, but not as much as if you grabbed some very watery paint. If you put watery paint in watery paint, then it's just gonna go, and they're just gonna totally blend together. But by using the stiffer paint like that, this quinacridone, like you can see here, is pretty stiff, not very watery. And when you put it in there, see how it just kind of stays there a little bit? It's doing its own thing. It's gonna blend a little bit, but it won't be as much as if I tried to put really watery stuff in there. I'm gonna come back here, grab a little bit more green. Need something. So a little bit more green up here. So play with that area a little bit, but it's going to be your yellow, your bright green, some quinacridone, and maybe a little bit of your darker green. Okay, so do the stems first. Then when you're done with the stems, you can play with this a little bit with your purple.
I'll let you.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Too quiet?
No, it's okay. It just gets so quiet.
It can.
Sit down.
In between the music breaks, yeah. Does everyone like the elevator music? Otherwise, I can play some Jesse Cook again, but you've heard him a million times. But I do like flamenco fusion music. Or Christmas music, we could do that. It seems like the yeah, that quinacridone just seems to really pull it together. It gives it, I don't know, it makes it look more like an authentic color or something, like an authentic stem. You having fun with those stems yet? So Andrea, you don't want a painting for a Christmas gift?
I just said how I'm working on this for your Christmas gift.
I love it.
I know how much effort I put in.
Oh my gosh, but then you won't have one, so I'll have to gift you one.
Oh, I take it, man. Take it.
Kind of a concept artist, so yeah, and then so like so everyone's Oh, here are the.
In high school. That's always the best way to do it. Yep.
Okay, so now let's pick this area down here that's just under that B. And we're gonna carefully, yep, go around that B section here. Up to there, you can even do like just a touch right in the middle. Okay, this area here is gonna get kind of a, mix your quinacridone with a little bit of pink, and that'll be the right color for right in this area here where I'm showing you with my brush. Because it looks like it's got like little thorns on it or bumps on it or something to that effect. Well, you can see it, right? So a little quinacridone and a little pink. So we're gonna just do that. Isn't that pretty? That's so much fun. I like that so much, I'm gonna put a little bit right there. And now I'm gonna take some green. I don't know, pick a green, any green. Put a little bit of your yellow with it maybe, that you have. Or mix it, better yet, you can mix it on here too. Okay, so we got some yellow. You said it doesn't look like yellow?
No, I said,
Was the yellow?
you were
ink
talking
pink?
green. I'm like, that doesn't look green to me.
No,
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so again, you're thinking linear because these are the stems and they run up and down, and so you want your strokes to be up and down just like that, just like it would be.
Does that
On a
follow
stem.
up in here then too? Or no?
Yeah,
Not
somewhat.
at this time.
Somewhat, okay. All right, so doing some green. I mix some quinacridone with my bright green, or you can grab some of your other green in there. Your darker green, I'm gonna put a little bit of that in there too, because I think it could use some. But I have to be careful with that because it's, when you're doing green, and you don't want it to necessarily just come out of a tube, it's gotta be mixed with something, otherwise it looks kind of plastic. So I'm throwing some quinacridone in with that very dark green, because a little bit of bright green in with it too. But that's kind of the idea. So similar to what we did up there, except that this part gets that quinacridone and pink mix again. Now, wait, because there's this little spot up here. I know you just saw that because I had some green on my brush. So again, I think with that, you're gonna have a little bit of quinacridone. If it has a little bit of pink in it, that's fine. I think that makes it interesting. Okay, so that's what you're gonna do with that. So again, that's just like that backwards 7 that's at the top there. So do the backwards 7 and then do the bottom of that left stem. And that shouldn't take very long, so just go for it.
Say hi.
Hi! Who am I talking to?
Oh. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Felicia or Felicia?
I
It's a
know.
little exercise.
It was a fun one for doing. Very fun. Okay, let's do something. Ready?
This is much cleaner than doing oil paints.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. We could not do oil paints in here. Oil paints are scary when it comes to carpeting and walls and clothing and. Okay, so using my small brush and just water, I'm picking the big section of the bee. We did that underneath there quite some time ago, so that should be all totally dry. And I'm gonna use some of that darker blue, not the bright blue, but some of the darker blue. So this is going to be a fade, a color fade. So right here, see how it wants to take off, which is fine. That's what I like about watercolor. It's just kind of spontaneous. It goes where it wants to go. I like that about it though. Okay, so then in the middle of it, some of that purple pink. Okay, so we got blue, blue, the purple pink in the middle. Then, again, this is like that lilac color that we did. I'm just gonna hit this one little section, no water, because that's a super small section. Just a little bit of lilac right up underneath there. And then the top of it, I'm gonna hit with some blue. And then on the top of this, it's gonna be similar. So blue. Oh yeah. Sorry, I lost my place for a second. Okay, so where those came together, I got my lilac going again. When you look at glass, okay, and this happens to be raised letters, the colors shift back and forth. Same thing with metal too. When you look at metal, what you're seeing is like reflection of other colors around it, but those colors will shift back and forth. It's the best way I can explain it. It's not like one solid color, it changes. So all right, so that's what we want to do. We want to get that bee started. So again, blue into the violet and blue again. So the violet sandwiched in between the blue, and then so your violet's going to be coming up here. Okay, so you got a spot of violet here, blue here, blue here, blue here, blue on top, violet on the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna come back here. Let's see. All right, there's an area right here that you can see the stems through. I'm just gonna apply water here first. Just in this big, it's like a long, long triangle. I'm avoiding the sections around it because those are gonna stay lighter white. Okay. And again, I'm gonna get some, this is gonna be more of a greenish on this side. Blue. Okay, trying to keep it light. Okay, so you could use your cobalt if you wanted to right there. That's fine. Lighter towards this section. Same color right there. Except now, This is gonna get kind of diluted a little bit.
What's up, green?
So I'm using some green. Gonna grab some quinacridone right there. If you don't have it like super puddly, it will stay put a little bit. It's still gonna fuzz out, but not horribly. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of violet in the middle. I think somehow I got a little bit on the brown side. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Must not have been paying attention again. How does that happen? Okay, so a little bit of violet right there. So we got your blue, you got a little bit of violet, you got your green. In fact, I think this is gonna have just a hint more green on the left side of it. Just like a, not much. Just a little. So, it's like a little sandwich going on here. Blue, blue. I'm gonna lift this because I see it's bleeding too much. Okay. Blue, blue. And then going in. Green, green. And inside the sandwich is lavender and quinacridone. Okay, so blue on the outside, gets lighter towards the center here. Then your sandwich starts with the green stems, right here. Quinacridone next to your violet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're gonna mess with some of the water areas in here now. Okay, so this helps because it starts to, gives us a little break from the tedium for one. And it also helps the painting to come together. So I'm just water, first of all, is what's happening there. It's gonna come around to this side, but over here it's gonna get pretty light right there. So I'm actually leaving some space there where there's no water at all. All right. So now you're gonna grab that blue color that you have going. I believe it's like a cobalt turquoise. Okay, and you know what though? I really do like this cyan blue too. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that in there. Just a little bit. It's nice and watery.
For painting water.
I want it to move. I really don't want it to show up though there. I want to keep that white, so be careful about that. So now, because I just brushed it on the one side, it left like a little space there, which is what I like. We want it to look like water, basically. So, I'm gonna grab some more of that color that I mixed up, some cobalt and some of that cyan. And I'm gonna run it towards the bottom here. I can push it around a little bit, which I'm going to. Since the stem is already dry, I can push up a little bit against there. A little right there. But I need it to move. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of water on my brush. And I'm gonna push my paint around a little bit, just a little. I don't want it to completely fill in. want it to be lighter at the top. Leave that. Still, it should be still wet here, but it looks like it's dry. It dried very quickly. All right, I'm gonna grab my blue again. So again, if you choose where you're gonna put the paint on your piece, it'll be lighter in the other area, but it's gonna give you that variable tone. You see what's happening there? So again, you want your color towards the sides. So I put some here, just a little touch here. I put water first. I kept my color concentrated down here and then right over here. Again, this is towards the side, towards the bottom mostly. All right, does that help?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And it'll give the illusion that there's some water in there.
Oops, sorry.
So we're doing alternating pink and blue on the letters, just so you guys know. Yelled at. On the B, I am making that mostly purplish or violet or lavender, whatever you want to call it. And then on the top portion of it, there's a little tiny tag that sticks up here. And that I'm going to do in blue. Okay, so then I'm going to pick this and come around the side of it with blue. Okay, and then we're gonna grab some blue right there. Just have to see what I got going on the painting. When I painted the original, I actually did it from life. I drew it out first and then painted it. But the idea was sometimes I can paint from photos and then get every last detail, but I really wanted to try and condense it a little bit. Oh, the outside of this, again, your violet, there's a little guy that hangs out there, curves around. You don't have to go along there if you don't want to. You can just leave that, but. Okay, so purple mostly here, blue towards the outside, except for this one. Okay, that helps. Yep. And then we'll be on to the L's. And then we'll have those letters just about done. Oh, nice job.
That's what I did finish yesterday.
Yeah, you did. You got some really good color going on there with that cardinal, some good shading. Better than mine.
That's oil though.
Right, right.
Pictures help so much. Yeah.
It's nice. You can eat in my class. Okay. Oh, see, I got that too dark. I didn't put any water in there. Now I got water. Okay, I'm doing purple on the bottom. So I'm gonna make purple or violet or lilac, whatever color you want to call that. All right, that one too. Okay, but they're very wet yet, so what I'm probably gonna do is float a little bit of blue in here. Because if I don't, it's all gonna look the same. Okay, but my blue that I need to float in here is probably gonna have to be somewhat watery. And not too dark. So I can kind of push that around. Okay, now we got some interesting things happening. Okay, so now here's the tricky part. The top stays light, right next to that O. And the bottom is gonna have color. Purple again. And I think I missed a little spot. There's supposed to be a little spot right underneath this A. Otherwise, I can put it in or not. I just gotta hit that a little bit. Yours is fine, I'm sure. Okay. So let's do that. That'll give that a chance to dry, and then we'll come back later. We'll put some blue up here, right in the center. But we're gonna let that dry. So put the purple on first, float a little bit of blue in there. Keep it interesting. And you are gonna have those letters almost done, almost completely done now.
Just run together. Just go ahead and run together.
Yeah, they can run together.
That's good, because they are.
Yeah, they're probably going to. But you want to give it a chance to be interesting. Sometimes I'm at work and people will ask me a question and I'm not answering. I have this Looks like you're almost done with that. It's awesome. Getting quicker and quicker. Okay, when you're done, come up. Awesome.
Susan, where's the bathroom? Oh, you don't have to show me, just tell me.
Pointer.
Yeah.
Well,
Then we'll all.
if you go out into this area where all the tables are, maybe you look to your right. There's just this next to the water. Okay. Ready?
We are.
Ready, Freddy?
We are.
All right. Okay. Okay, so I'm grabbing some blue with some green. Maybe this green, I don't know. Want it, no, I don't know. I want it kind of dark. Okay, right here. Got kind of a bluish green going.
Is your water wet?
I got this very wet. So that's the only reason I'm using it on dry paper,
Okay.
because my water or my brush is super wet right now. Okay, no. I want to turn this into green, so I'm going to add some green here, and I'm going to backtrack and go into that color. All right, so we're gonna make this a little lighter by pulling this color this way. And when we pull it this way, we're gonna go back to blue. Okay, so blue, green, into green, and then back to blue is what it's gonna amount to. Make that just a little darker there. Okay?
Otherwise, it's upside down.
Yeah, you can always stand behind me too next time. Bottom portion. Okay. Okay, you remember how we did the sides of the glass? Oh, that was a surprise. Bad yellow, bad. That's all right. No. Okay, just water on the bottom. Just water
Keeping that like
in the center. Just water right here. Okay. Now I took some of that blue, mix it with some of the brighter blue, just a little bit, then it tones it down just a little bit. Okay, my brush is not very wet, and this is not too wet, but this is. So I'm gonna stay along the line again. And now here, I'm just gonna follow that circle around like that and put some on the top. See how this ends up staying? Clear in the middle, because I totally avoided that. I'm gonna darken that a little bit. I had that a little bit too light. Okay. So, light here, right along this line. Again, you can see that stays clear in the middle. And this just needed to be filled in, but it needed to be a little darker in the right-hand side, so come back. Okay?
Is that all the same color?
Yep, it is. Which is nice. You don't even have to switch it up. When I was talking about the sides, I meant more towards the top. When we did that very first section towards the top and we stayed towards the sides of the glass and we just put the color towards the sides of the glass.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was just water because we had put the water on first. Your letter should be dry now. Okay. Hello? A lot more parts to this painting than you think. Okay. Yep. Okay, we're good. And the reason I jump around on the page, in case anybody was wondering, a lot of you probably figured that out, is because you don't want to paint next to a spot always that's very wet. So then you have to avoid that. Okay, so again, I'm using some of my cobalt, and I'm using some of my cyan here. Okay, it's gonna be fairly light. We're going around. We're not filling in the center of those. Those need to stay white, so we're very carefully trying to go around those as it gets towards the top more. See, it's light, very light. It's got a tiny tinge of color, but not much. It's very important to have that variation right there. Okay. Okay. We'll avoid this section. We'll come over here. Oh, you can leave that, the center of that. Just realized it after I painted it with water. Okay. Just had to look at my original, see where I was going, my road map. Okay, so I got my cobalt and my other color mixed up. Only now I'm gonna go along the stem. This is where it's getting most of the action right here. Whoops. Little too much. Don't worry. If we hit it right away, we'll just take care of some of that. That's too bright too. This is not bad. This will dry down a ways. Okay, so I need to move this paint. So my paint's only going to move with some water. I want it to look fairly smooth in here. So I'm moving it so that it looks kind of smooth. Okay, so here we have it towards the bottom. It gets very lighter as you go up towards the top. Here we have it towards the stem and lighter over here towards the right. Okay. All right, go for it.
Coming in.
Should take you about 2 minutes. Okay, when you're ready, come on up. Oh, I guess that'll be a minute yet. Yes, we do. All right.
Is this expensive?
Nah, it's $3, $3.99 or something. It's not. It's good.
Yeah, you don't need a lot of it either.
No, that's what I like about it. I don't know how light fast it is. That's the only thing about it, though.
All right, I want to make sure you're still recording when you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to get yelled at. Okay, so we want to catch this area yet that's probably still white. And that's the area behind the bee. That area there.
Oh, that's my fault.
Oops. Don't worry about it. Keep things interesting. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a touch of quinacridone in there because otherwise it's just too much of the same. Okay, so we finished up that area behind the bee. Our bottom is pretty much finished there, other than just a little bit of blue in the center of this. Okay, so I'm gonna throw that little bit of blue in there. And then that bottom section is finished. Whew.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay. Then there's still just a couple little areas up here. There's an area right here, guys. And if you feel like I'm looking at this upside down, stand behind me. That's cool too. It's all right. It's sometimes easier if you see it right side up. Okay. So right here, we got a little bit of lilac going on. And, oops. Okay, this lilac's gonna turn into blue. I got messy. Green. I think I need just a touch of green there. Where'd I go? Oh, here. But it's not popping up. Wait, okay. Just a touch, that's it. Do you need more than that? Okay, so just lilac to blue. You can throw a touch of green in there. But it's too garish. So, you know what I'm gonna go after? Some quinacridone just to tone it down just a hair. Okay, I don't want much of that there, but just so lilac to that color. And then we did the back of this with the lighter green, and we did some blue right in there. So go do that, and oh, one more little spot. There's a little, I'm sorry, there's a little triangle right here that gets kind of a bluish teal color, so. Okay, so on some of these I'm just gonna do like a, this is pink.
You wet that first.
I did.
Okay.
So I wanna do that center, and I'm gonna maybe bounce back and forth a little bit. This one, I could do either the orange or the pink. I gave you pink. I don't know if I gave you orange.
I don't think so.
No,
But that's okay, because you probably don't need it.
I need more pink.
Okay, so what I want you to do,
Just with those.
I just wet these like little areas here.
and it travels.
And that's it.
Yep. And, I mean, don't be, you don't have to take a gazillion years with each one. You can just, like I said, like they got little shapes. You can take a picture of my original. Then you'll know where you want to put stuff. Sometimes what you can do is, let's say you have one here and you want to start it towards the base. Let it come this way. If you want that to move more, you can bring your brush in and just move it more. Or I just kind of like it like that. And then don't forget your greens, because you're gonna need some green in there. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take, like maybe it's gonna be along the edge of one of these. Your bright green, you'll use your bright green. Bring that like maybe along the edge, or maybe it'll be along the whole thing. In that case, this one I'm gonna use some of that. I'm gonna grab some pink. Just throw it in there.
Is there any reason why we couldn't lay
Yep.
yellow in
Okay.
here and do it too?
Yep.
at the
So
same time?
while you're doing this, and actually I think I used a quinacridone gold and some of the yellow. So guys, you can do the center of this. You still have your yellow. So just throw that in there. Then your quinacridone. See, I already have that watery. So I'm just gonna
This is too cool.
just dab it here and there,
Nice.
and that part is done. I mean, you just make it quick.
Yeah.
You have a better result sometimes when you can do that.
Nice.
Okay, so Now this one's with paint. Why not? Doesn't matter, just you have your watercolor stuff, your watercolor ink. So you put that in there again. And then just grab your quinacridone.
What do you
I'll
do
show
for
you one more time.
The brown part.
Okay, so I'll show you that in just after this dries.
Okay.
In just a minute. Yeah, that'll take just a minute to dry down, then I can show you what to do with that.
Okay.
Because you just basically, all you do is paint dark brown over top of it.
Oh, okay. Would that be the quinacridone then, or like how do you get the
Oh,
brown?
no.
Did you give us? No, because you
I
just
don't
gave
know
us
if I
the
gave
plain.
you brown, actually, so maybe I should get on it. I'll get you some.
Okay.
Yeah, burnt sienna.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Take your palette home. The only thing I can't give you is my brushes. It's the only drawback. But
What I want to bring up. Oh, she already. Andrew, I got some cool pictures of you, look. Mom's scolding me about painting.
what?
Scolding.
Scolding you?
Scolding Andrea.
Oh.
Andrea. She's gonna be happy when she looks in her inbox and she sees all this shit. So he'd be like, oh, cool, you finally got to it. Almost a month later. Let's see, who else photos do we? Did I send this one? SharePoint? Yeah, okay, did that one, blah blah blah. It's fun. I mean, I see why you take a million photos, you know?
Yep. Because they're not, well, they don't all turn out to be something.
Yeah, I see it.
I mean, some are, you might have 10 good ones, but they're not all, you know, exactly what you want.
Yeah, I get it. These are pretty cool though. These are really cool. You know what's cool is like now that I sent through here on your messenger, I can go back and pull if I want to post any of them. Ooh, just going through and hunting. She wanted me to find this one video of her, like where she almost fell, and I'm like, I don't know where that is in the back. You know, I said, I don't know where all that is.
Well, was she like, did she remember if she was going up on the bridge or? Because that's where a lot of people almost fall.
Maybe. Oh, that's pretty cool.